Hi everybody, and welcome to the December edition of the Haunted Earth show. And of course, December being Christmas, it will be a particularly special show. Earlier this month, I invited a private investigation of my own very actively haunted home. And the people who attended were members of Paranormal People and led by Carol Cassie Burt, whose page you will find on Facebook. They obviously had many open and mixed views about what type of activity they were likely to encounter, but were greatly surprised by two major events. One which I've shared with you previously, which is the cat e.v.p, and also communication with spirit by using a K2 EMF meter. Anyway, rather than me going on about the details of the video, I'll invite you to watch, and I'll speak to you very shortly, and I want to cover one or two details with you on that particular investigation. Okay, tonight we've got a very special treat. We have a group of people representing Paranormal People led by Kaz. They've come over to investigate my own home. Now, you've all heard and seen the videos from this property, so this could be quite an interesting invest, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys actually have picked up and, of course, what we captured on camera.
I'm Wendy.
And you're a member of the same group?
Yes, that's
yeah.
Right. She's one of our investigators and a medium.
Okay, and
this is
last
Chris,
but not least,
who is our lead investigator and a medium.
Oh, that sounds good. So
he thinks he's in charge.
You've heard the legends of the haunted house. So what are you actually hoping to experience here tonight?
Well, given the level of all the activity, we're really not sure, but we're pretty certain we'll get something here tonight.
Well, I'll ask, as Chris is doing the mediumship here, are you picking anything up at all?
I picked a few things up when I first walked in. One was a woman just before you actually spoke about her, and there was a young girl. But then you spoke about her again. But there is definitely activity here. Difference
in the temperatures just from this side of the room to that one. We've already been aware of some cold spots.
And I think there's something to do with this bed as well. You know, I'm picking something.
Well, as I stood next to the bed, my side of the leg was against it, and I could feel like my leg vibrating, so I don't know what that was about.
What about downstairs in the little room? You went down there, Chris?
I haven't picked anything up down there yet, but it's
early, yeah.
Very early.
That though is like a very different part of the house. As soon as you walk in, there's just a very inviting and warm feeling, and it's a very different heat to just coming out from the radiators.
I mean, even in this room, there's nothing negative here, but you can feel it.
Yeah. Yes, there is definitely activity here, but you know, for me, I've only just turned up. I haven't been here very long, so I can't really say what's going on.
While Cassie and her team investigated the master bedroom, I joined the remainder of her group in the Art Deco room downstairs. It is to your right.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the lamp standard.
My skin and believe it or not, my skull is tightening.
We might have a putty cat in here, I'm not sure. Let me just open up. Any friendly spirits of this home, of this house, could you show yourselves and identify yourselves in this room, please? And if possible, could you make a noise, or could you give us some indication of your presence? I can see a lot of energy around that lamp standard, which is again by the radiogram.
I can feel it, the back of my head's really tight.
Now, as far as cat e.v.p, we touched base on that earlier. You might hear it. I have heard it audibly, but it's more likely to appear on tape. So what we can do a little bit later, I can put this on the TV and we can sit back and look and see what we've got.
Oh, cool.
I've just seen a flash of light, a big flash of light, by the radiogram again. So the energy is there.
Can you go over to my right?
Yeah.
Is that where you're filming?
I'm filming all the way there.
Slightly right at me, but like above
Trying
my
to
head
look
slightly.
for all of this flashing light, I can't see anything.
I'm not here, I'm cold.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So it's definitely over your way then. And what you've, as I say, just to reassure you that there is nothing in here that is going to hurt you.
No, it doesn't feel bad or anything.
It's nice and
Because
cosy in
feel
there,
it
actually.
there.
It is, yeah. Any friendly spirits, could you come to this room? Ellie, are you around tonight? That's the little girl. She's a visitor, she's not here. The only permanent guests are the cats.
Well, we all like cats.
Yes. Did have fun.
What's that saying?
Unfortunately, it's like fishing. We've just got to sit here and wait. I spend 2 or 3 hours in here sometimes.
I'm sorry, Mum, but I'm apparently filming you.
You need to, because can you see where my hand is? Yeah, it's here somewhere.
There's nothing there.
We had
It's actually a cold spot.
we had an orb that appeared on that arm of that chair, and it bounced off onto the ground like a cat jumping off an armchair.
Yes, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, that was just like a real cat, but as spirit.
You got one in front of the sofa there as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I've seen that.
I'm going to call out to my own cat, Shelley. Shelley, honey, come on, come on. Shelley. I know the heating's on, but I can just faintly hear purring. You hear it?
Yes.
Could it possibly be the camera?
No, well, I'm
No,
over
it's-
here. No, it's not the camera.
It's like, yeah.
Not hearing over here.
No, because
It's coming to you, isn't it?
this happened last time, and then I changed positions and sat where you are, and then it was silent, and then the purring came back, so it could be around me.
I can't hear it, and I'm right next to you.
Yeah, I know, but it's how it works like that. Sometimes you can be fairly close, and... Shelley! Now I can't hear the purring now, but I heard it a second ago.
I can hear it.
And it's back again, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely got a cat in here. The trouble is with an animal spirit, you're fairly limited with what you can actually ask them, aren't you?
Yeah. See, I tend to hear things more than you do, don't I? So I do hear stuff.
Whereas I smell things more.
I get more emotional.
I told you they would be the wise monkeys.
Let me just take that camera off you for a second and see if this noise gets louder here. Hang on. This is just so that when I review the videotape, I can actually determine whether or not it is the cat that's following me. Any friendly spirits at this house, could you show yourself, please? Could you do something? Could you make a noise? I can't hear the cat purring now, but I did a minute ago. Shelley! Meanwhile, in the master bedroom, activity was slow to start for Cassie's team.
Very weird.
It was just like a... Don't tell me the camera's...
I've got my one if you...
The camera's packed up. That's very strange. So it was working perfectly downstairs. I just put it on and it got the normal screen. Is it me, or does it feel as though the temperature is getting colder?
It is. Temperature's getting, my hands are freezing.
The temperature just seems to be dropping and dropping, doesn't it? Are you picking anything up then?
Just cold down around here.
I wonder if I'll sit... Chris said we could sit in this chair.
Might be someone sitting there.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I sat on someone at the cage, didn't I?
You just think there is someone sitting there. As soon as I walked in, you feel that someone sat there in the corner.
There's a bit of a draft coming from there. Oh. I tell you what, the old ghost star is going. I have just gone freezing cold and pins and needles from the top of my head down to my feet. And you can feel like an energy here.
Mm.
That's really strange. Trying this chair is very weird. It's like a sensation of like something popping on you, on your skin. I don't know how else to describe it. It just feels like pops on your skin.
It's all quite heavy, aren't I?
Yeah, Chris said it was sturdy.
There's energies in here, but they're not coming forward. It's the only how I can describe it. There's an energy in here that's not coming forward. There's something in here.
You feel my hands.
It's warm to touch.
Feel that one?
It's freezing.
That was the one that I had on the arm of the chair. The other one was on my leg. And that was the one on the arm of the chair. Don't know if you'll notice so much now, but that one I had on my knee. And that one was what was on the chair. Your hands are freezing, Wendy.
That one is.
I don't know what it is about this room, it's just... It feels as though there's something just... like it wants to come across the barrier, do you know what I mean? There's just all kinds of weird sort of things, but none of it's coming through.
Maybe it's a bit early. Maybe it's kind of...
It's definitely activity though, isn't there?
Now in the master bedroom with her group, Tara starts a very interesting session with a K2 EMF.
Is there anyone in this room with us? Can you flash the K2 again, please? Let us know that you're here.
She shivered in the camera.
Is there anyone here with us? Can you make a noise? Show yourself as a light anomaly. Thank you. See that one?
Yes, it did. All right, I got that one.
Thank you. Could you answer some questions for us? Light the lights if you can.
Oh, something just went in front of there.
Yeah.
Like an orb flew in front, sort of between you and Katie. I don't know if it's above the K2 or below it. Oh,
Hello.
Lovely, thank you.
Hey. Are you male? Flash the lights if you're male.
What was that?
Chair behind you.
Why is it creaking? Is he sitting in a
Just
chair?
got out of it.
Maybe someone's just sat back in it.
It's wicker in it. Are you female? Light the lights if you're female.
That chair's creaking. Are you sitting in that chair?
Should I take a picture of it?
Yeah, of course so. Why are you just sitting there?
There's no one there.
Thank you. So you're in the chair.
Did it flash?
Yeah. Are you a little girl? Did you used to live here? You did. How old are you? If I start counting, will you flash the lights when I get close to your age? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you're 15. What year did you live in this house? Was it in the 70s? Was it in the 80s? Was it in the 20s? You lived here in the 20s?
I thought you said it wasn't built to the 1950s.
I know. Hello? Are you male? You are. Hello, sir. Did you live here? What year did you live here? In the 20s? 30s? 40s? 50s? In the 50s? Did you first move in when the house was very first built? Did you move in well after it was built? I've got to take your finger off the button, it's killing me.
Later, Kazzy's team visited the Art Deco room downstairs and were there for a few minutes before I joined them. At the time, there were no incidents of cat e.v.p on the camcorder, but having joined this group to take a number of digital still photographs, the cat e.v.p slowly started again. This to me confirms that the cat in spirit was in fact my little girl cat Shelley, who in life absolutely doted upon me. Her untimely death towards Christmas 2011 from cancer was quite a shock for me, and on the day she died it was late in the afternoon, and so I placed her body for burial overnight in the garage. A few hours later I saw her perfectly, as in life, sat outside the door asking to come in. She then turned and jumped and disappeared into the darkness. Since then there have been numerous occasions when I have felt her or seen her, I have no doubt that she stays close to me still in my own home. At least she is happy, and if proof of the afterlife be sought, this continual exposure on tape of her purring would for me be confirmation enough. Just checking around to see if you've got anything there. They reckon they're getting activity upstairs.
It was
I said that was going to happen.
It was definitely building up to something when we were up.
Oh, that always, my first preference is the master bedroom, and this is my second choice.
But it was just like a column of really extra freezing cold air. It just kept moving round, didn't it?
And you're not feeling anything at all now?
It's just my legs.
Isn't there something to the left of her again?
My legs.
Or in the right? Her.
My legs.
Oh, right.
Legs and knees are freezing.
I'm not sure if that's a reflection or if it's an orb, but it's
Yeah,
above the
just
radio.
Freezing.
It's above the radio against that.
Yeah.
Because while I'm looking across there,
Yeah.
part of that land standard is obliterated. It's not there. You can see the bottom, see the bit at the top, but in the middle of it, there's nothing.
I've got a very cold breeze just going across my hands, across the top of my legs.
Let's have a look and see
Just
what's
like
on top of the
a
radio.
cold breeze.
No, that's definitely a light reflection. Yeah. Okay, let's try again. I was starting to open up and then it got a little bit interesting. That's gone quiet. Let's see if we can do it again. Quite cosy in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
In an old-fashioned way.
Oh, I could sit in here for hours.
There's something afoot. Definitely.
My legs are still freezing. But something on one side.
It's over. There's still something.
It's the radiogram side that's
yeah,
really
it's
cold.
by the radiogram that I'm picking up. I can see.
You can actually feel a change
I saw a grey flash.
in the temperature.
Quite a big one.
And just something grey just sort of shot across the curtain. God, this side of my leg's getting really cold now.
Not seeing anything there at the moment. There's something going on in this room, isn't there?
There's
There's
something moving
something.
around, but
Yeah.
I hate it when I don't come forward.
You get that a lot in this house because I think they're a bit
Your
wise
eyes.
to what I do.
Yeah? Oh, I'm glad. Are you glad to be here with us? Yeah?
Oh, one just shot straight up from the floor when.
Do you like still living here? What's the guy's name who lives here? Do you like living here with the kind man who lives here? Oh, I keep repressing the button. My finger hurts.
What's the little girl's name?
From here. That's
Sorry.
all right.
I'm going to sit on that chair in the corner, if that's all right.
Yeah, as long as no one else is sitting in it, because they were earlier.
What was the little girl's name in here?
The 8-year-old, was it?
Because she's seriously communicating with Katie here.
I can't remember what you said now. Sorry,
No, I can't.
That's how long since I've been down this room. It's not Annie.
I thought it was Ellie, I thought it was
Ellie,
Ellie.
that's it, yeah.
Is her
Sorry.
name Ellie?
Master's Miss Furniture.
They killed Ellie?
Yeah, I think Ellie or something.
Ellie, did you want to talk for us?
Battery lights flashing on this now.
Goodbye and thank you.
Goodbye and thank you.
Oh, bless.
Finally, my fingers. Someone's taking my feet.
Yeah, it went out of focus.
Someone's taking my feet.
My leg was just touched. It was like, it felt like, you know, you get a muscle twitch in your muscle.
Yeah.
It felt like that, but it wasn't.
Okay, stop taking my feet, please. I'm a little bit.
Quite playful.
Not saying anything. She likes you, Katie. You better hope it is her, not some dirty old man. Do a foot fetish.
Can you do anything else? Can you show yourself in another way or make a noise, please?
Looks like there's a light under that door.
It does actually, but it's not. It's a reflection on the ledge.
It's kind of creepy. Like
It's the
everyone's,
screen in the mirror reflecting down onto the door.
it's kind of creepy, isn't it? Everyone's like, oh, it's a portal. I mean,
No,
it's like
it's
a
not.
light under. You're like,
Can you show yourself around, Katie? Can you show yourself around her feet on the floor?
Well, that ends this month's investigation at my home. And I must say many thanks to Cassie and her team at Paranormal People Investigators. And if you're interested in joining them, you can contact Cassie on Facebook under the above name. I have to say it was a very interesting investigation and clearly enjoyed by all present. What an interesting investigation it was. For sure, they weren't expecting the EVP of a cat, and the EVP was heard by me, albeit briefly, in the Art Deco room. But the intensity of the purring was unbelievable. In fact, it was so unbelievable, I could understand anybody viewing the video and thinking that there was a cat sat next to the person operating the video camcorder. And of course, clearly there was not. The event was verified independently by those attending, and the only cat in the house during the whole evening was my old pet cat Jamie, who was actually locked away upstairs in a spare bedroom, contentedly fast asleep. The significance of this event for me was quite crucial, because it was obvious that the cat EVP was very much attached to me, and I'm now firmly convinced it was my late cat Shelley. I have seen her on a number of occasions around the property, not perhaps in life as I did see her once, mostly in spirit form, sometimes as shadows, and occasionally whilst lying in bed at night, and in the light coming off the computer I catch just sight of a towel, or I feel her walking across my body as I'm lying in bed. But nothing that would seriously concern me, but in fact encourages me to take this further. And so what I'm hoping to do sometime next year is to carry out a more detailed and thorough examination of the house with regard to this particular phenomena. Another interesting facet of this investigation was the use of the EMF meter in communicating with spirit. Whilst perhaps not always factually correct, for example, the house was built in the 1950s and not in the 1920s, it is fair to say that there is a lot of antique furniture in the property. And there is, of course, every possibility that those that were communicating with the group were in fact connected more to the furniture than to the actual house itself. But again, an interesting experiment, and one which I feel prudent to carry out further investigations to try and determine much more information. I have to say I haven't used the EMF meter in my own home, purely and simply because I don't actually believe that the device triggers an EMF reaction from spirit. I think spirit, on occasions, as in this particular example, can use the device to communicate with the living. And so it's a theory that I want to put to the test and plan to do so again next year. Also in December, we had the honour and the privilege of attending, or shall I say re-attending, Harwich Redoubt Fort at Harwich in Essex. And this was a particularly intriguing and fascinating investigation, albeit very, very cold. It was well below freezing, and I can assure you on the warmth factor it was no real pleasure, but the results I think you will find interesting, and I will share that video with you in the January edition. And lastly, I have a confession to make. Many of you know of me as Chris Halton, but in fact I'm actually Father Christmas, and if you don't believe me, here is a photograph of me taken recently. Now, why is my name Chris Halton? Well, in fact, it isn't Chris Halton. I'll make this confession to you now. My name is actually Chris Maas. I'm actually derived from Dutch stock. Maas is spelled M-A-A-S. And I've lived for at least the last, 2,000 years. I've appeared in various formats. And in my current reincarnation, I'm known as Chris Halton. As you can appreciate, Christmas is a particularly busy time for me, particularly so with security arrangements in different countries that I pass through. Travelling over to America on occasions is a bit fraught, having to go through the TSA and being body searched, and it's quite humiliating really, and having the animals scanned and all the presents taken apart and examined before I'm allowed to take them through. But I thoroughly enjoy the job. I used to work in the North Pole, but to be honest, it's very, very cold up there, and it's very hard to find dwarf labour. So now I'm actually working from the UK, and in my spare time I like to make videos of the paranormal. So I just thought I would clear that detail up with you. The reindeer, you may ask where they kept. Well, in fact, they're kept locally at a nature reserve, and they look after the animals for me as and when I need them. And you may wonder, how do I get down chimneys? Well, you know, we have the ability of teleportation once we've arrived in a particular area to carry down presents into the house. And if you wake up on Christmas morning and you discover that there is no present for you, it's probably because I don't like you, or it could be I don't know where you live, or alternately I could have run out of presents. But whatever the reasons are, be rest assured next year I will be back, and I will assure you that I will deliver that present for you. And in any case, it's now coming up to the festive period, so I must disappear, and I will speak to you again in the new year. And God bless you, and a happy Christmas to you all.